Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Skratch. This is another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Myself, I'm down with a bit of a cold right now at the moment, guys. And I've actually got tested positive for COVID. So if in the next few days you won't be seeing me around as much, or I might not be looking like myself, is because sometimes you feel like you got hit by the train, you know. And going into the main topic for today's video, guys, I was actually wrong. I initially thought that burn characters are mainly for AoE, right? I haven't really had a chance to really play test them before, and my god, was I wrong or no? Because there is one epic character that can melt bosses, guys. Now, if you manage to stack enough burns on that boss or on that enemy, you can literally melt it. If you've played Raid Shadow Legends as an example, you know how poison detonation works, or how Theodore works with his burn detonation. Now, it's very similar with how the boss works in the fire domain. Let me just quickly show you what exactly I'm talking about. I am talking about this specific epic champion, Araces, and my god, he's amazing. I'm so glad that I actually have him on my account as well. At the moment, I'm not on my actual account. I am on a test build, but Araces, guys, he is a monster. So if you summon this bad boy, make sure you are looking around at what other burn characters maybe you summoned, at least some of the epic ones, because they are top notch. So he has a crit damage aura for all battles, 24%, pretty nice. Then we have the passive. When the hero deals damage to the enemy with a basic attack, there's a 30% chance of inflicting the enemy with a stack of burn for 10 seconds. This is actually something nice that kind of like deserves to have some accuracy, honestly. Then you have the battle skill. Gains attack shield for 5 seconds, then deals fire damage to enemies around the hero every 0.8 seconds for 4 seconds. Gaining a shield makes him great for the Goblin, guys, because he's going to be able to tank at the same time while he's dealing damage, which is amazing, right? Then we have the ultimate skill. Deals 475% attack fire damage to enemies within range. If the targets are under a burn, dispels all burn from them. Every stack of burn dispelled deals additional 220 attack damage. So if you have 10 stacks of burn, you're gonna deal 2,200 attack damage, guys. And it's for real. It's actually crazy to see how much damage he can deal on some of the bosses. It's actually like, wow, you know? And he has a pretty good coverage area as well. So if you're putting him in the Goblin, he will be surrounded most of the times by the Goblins, you know? So he will actually get to put in some serious work. Keep that in mind as well. We're gonna take him in there for a spin too. Now, let me just quickly show you how I have him built. And I do have quite a few different characters built. I tried to see how well it will work with Karf, for example. I don't have this champion on my account, but I got fortunate enough to have Duram, and he seems to work pretty good too. Now, Karf is insane. He puts so many burns. If you have Karf with him, you're going to be like, wow, you know, it's going to be an amazing thing that you can do, basically. Then he is right here, Araces. So I have him built on an Inventor set. This is actually the best set for a damage dealer in the game at the moment, guys. Yes, you can use a Gambler against bosses as well. It will be pretty good. But I need to check the damage difference, you know, like which one of the sets actually will perform better if I'm going to try to achieve the same stats more or less, you know. And of course, I have the Eyeball of the Giant. Now, the one thing that I haven't done on him, honestly, and I should do it, is to give him accuracy, right? Like having the skills that he has to put the burn with the basic skill can be massive. If you actually have some attack speed on the character too, and having some accuracy to land the burn, it can be very, very nice. The only problem is that you'll be losing so much damage. Not only that, you'll be losing a lot of attack, which it will cost you the shield, it will cost you his actual damage, but at the same time, it's just overall much harder to build like that. So instead, we're actually going to bring in some activators. We're going to bring in Lyle. He's another epic burn character. And he is interesting too. For each enemy inflicted with a burn on the field, the hero gains a stack of attack up. That doesn't matter. What matters is the battle skill. Casts a fireball that can bounce between enemies for up to 5 times, dealing fire damage to enemies and a stack of burn. Okay, that's what matters on a battle skill. So you want to have as much skill haste on a character like this as possible, to ensure that he will constantly put burn on the enemy. Very, very important. Then the ultimate skill, usually have it off because he dispels burn too. I want all the burn magic to go to Araces because he's so freaking good. And we do have a different burn character too, Zrax. He's not really doing that much in terms of putting stacks of burn on the enemy, but he can deal pretty good damage too. So when the hero and summoned units deal damage to enemies inflicted with burn, he will actually trigger blast, which will remove one burn from the enemy. Then you have deals fire damage to enemies with a chance to put burn, and of course he summons this self turret, which will have a chance to inflict burn on the enemy. Pretty nice too, you know. It's not a bad character. The only thing is, if you're trying to stack a lot of burns for him, he will actually knock some of them down. But we're gonna play them around in a few different ways. So these are the 3 burn epics that we have in the game. I don't think we have any other one actually, but we do have some legendaries. Now I'm not even going to play the exclusive because he's very powerful, that one. But I will try Durem, and I will try Karf as well, just to kind of like give you a better understanding of what these characters can do. So the very first place where we want to start is the Grave of Venom. Now I actually have quite a few different presets in here, just to kind of like give you an idea of what these characters can do. I'm gonna start with the biggest show, basically. You know, we're gonna put the biggest show on the screen first, and let's crack on it with Karf and the rest. So equipment plan, let's bring that on, and let me just put a foot just in case if my gadgets will get wrecked, because I have 3 damage dealers in here, and he should be doing a lot of damage. Now what I want to show you is when he's using the ultimate, once we have more stacks on the boss, you know, because as it is right now, the boss doesn't really have stacks, but the orb right here has stacks. Look at this. Bang! The orb died. Okay, that's what happens. That's what happens when you have stacks of burn. Araces comes in and he's like, what? Are you bothering me? Get out of here. That's literally what he says, honestly. The damage that he deals by blowing up the burns is actually so impressive. I'm a massive fan of seeing it in action, you know. There we go. Let's put in some more stacks of burn right there, 5 of them. And look at the damage. Bang! Almost a quarter of the HP, you know. Almost a quarter of the HP. Now, the more stacks we have, let's just say Karf is going to put like 10 stacks on the boss. That's when it's going to get even nastier. So we have 3 stacks right now. Karf, come on. I'm waiting for you. Ah, you're attacking the orb. Okay, 7, 8 stacks. Look at that damage. Look at that damage. Was that like a million hit or something like that? Was a million hit, right? If I'm not mistaken, if I've seen that correctly. That's pretty crazy, right? Pretty damn crazy. Okay, let's see this time around if we manage to stack more. I'm gonna leave it like on a 1x speed, guys, especially when the HP burn is about to get detonated. Okay, so we have 8, 10 stacks. Let's see the damage. Was that 1.4 million damage, I think, right? 1.4 million damage in a single hit from an epic champion. And Skratch thought that burn is mainly only going to be good for AoE and stuff. I was not expecting burn to be so powerful against the single target enemies, because we have all the wild heroes, right? And I thought that what they are trying to do when they develop this new architecture of damage is to basically kind of like fill in the gaps. So we had the wild, which is amazing against the single targets, and then I thought that burn will come to kind of like deal with the AoE, right? And then we have Thunderbolt, which is the AoE. Then of course we have the Dauntless, which is single target. So I thought that they might be trying to do that overall, like Frost, AoE, then you have Ice Blast, single target. But I feel like they've made this one character that is absolutely amazing against single targets, and that of course is Araces. My god, have you guys saw that, you know? And let's actually bring in a different team. I mean, a different team. It's gonna be pretty much the same. We have with Durem one, but let's bring in one with the epic heroes, you know? I feel like maybe it's a bad idea to drop him completely out of the team, because he might be messing up some things, but we're gonna keep him in here. 3 epics, actually 5 epics in this team, but 3 epics that will actually do some burn, some other juicy things in here. So the turret drops in, that has a chance to land burn. Right now we only have a stack. So the main problem that I think we will have if we're using the Goblin too, the Mad Bomber, that's how I like to call him, I feel like we're gonna drop the stacks too fast. So we need to look at replacing that character, maybe with a character that's not doing any burn. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's not. In that case, we might want to give Araces some accuracy for his passive, you know, and like this, he will have a 40% chance to land a burn with every basic skill that he's using. So that could potentially be much, much better. If you're trying to get the accuracy from his pieces of gear as well, it could be pretty nice. So 316k hit with 2 stacks. So those were definitely 1+ million hits before, guys, which is so damn impressive, right? Like, look at the damage that he's bringing in, man. He's already at 1 million damage. Crazy, crazy good. I cannot wait to build him for the open world bosses. The only problem there is will be that I thought that I might be able to bait that boss with 1 tank and then have the rest ranged, but it's fine. Just because he's doing so much damage, I'm gonna bring him in. I'm definitely gonna bring him in, and especially that the open world boss is gonna be a summoner, and we're gonna have multiple enemies. Imagine when they're all in close proximity, and we detonate the HP burn, and we're dealing more AoE damage. How nice it's going to be. It's gonna be so freaking good, actually. Okay, where are we? This is pretty fast too. Like, there are a few teams that farm this dungeon extremely fast. Of course, Radiance being one of the top. Ice Blast is not as efficient here because of the orbs, but it's still pretty good. And then I feel like Burn with Carf here, it can be very nasty. I really, really regret not getting Carf, seeing how well they pair together, honestly. I really, really regret it. And check this out, 43.5% of the damage. We do have the Goblin with 32.8 as well, because he's dropping burn stacks with a passive, you know, which is very nice too. That brings a lot of damage too. Then the turrets, so 1.5 million damage from him, almost 2 million from Araces. I feel like it's definitely very, very solid. Let's actually check out another quick thing, and this time around we will go on the bots right here on the drilling ground, and I'm gonna bring in Carf and the other character, and we're gonna put in, what should we put in? 120 seconds. Now we don't need that much. Monster level, let's keep it at 155, and let's put 90 seconds. They will get to use their ultimate quite a bit. We do have the crit damage aura too. An attack aura would actually be even better here, guys, because if you have an attack aura, you're basically gonna be able to increase that ultimate damage even more. Maybe having attack gloves on him instead of crit damage could potentially even be better if you're pairing him with a lot of burners, you know, so he can actually detonate even crazier damage. That's something that I haven't thought about it before, actually, but I feel like it could potentially be better overall. So how I mentioned, I am on a test server, guys. That's why I have access to all this, okay? That's why I have access to all this. And let's actually dive into it. We have the defense down artifact. And let's see the damage. I really want to see once we're gonna start stacking more burns. I want to see the AoE damage, because right here, we have 3 enemies, right? So look at those stacks, and let's check the numbers. So we had 500. We had 54k damage, and we dropped 150+ damage with that ultimate. That was pretty nice with the stacks. So the more enemies in close proximity, the more damage you're basically going to drop with his ultimate skill. I look at all those stacks. 259k damage. Whoa, 220k, guys. 220k damage on multiple enemies. Now, if you only bring one and you have the same stacks, I'm very curious how that will play out. So we're gonna do the exact same team, only with one dummy instead, kind of like to try and compare to see how much it gives you from the AoE detonation when there are multiple targets. It's gonna be a bit of a minus and plus for crits, you know, but it's gonna be very minimal. So we are already at almost 1 million damage. Let's put it on 2x speed, so we are going a bit faster in here, because we kind of like showcase what we intended to see the damage, you know, and that was pretty impressive. Now, if I'm gonna let him use the ultimate, he will do decent damage too, because he will actually activate the stack of poisons too. But this champion spotlight is on Araces, guys. He is the MVP, okay? I wanna put him on the map and show you how good he actually is. So one 1,342,000 damage from Araces here, right? So let's see if we are modifying this. I'm curious to see by how much the damage will actually drop. So we're going to put one single target only, and we should be having even more stacks on that boss at the moment. On boss, the enemy, basically. It's not really a boss, is it? So I'm still trying to see once we have a lot of stacks in here. So 9 stacks, 100k. So he jumped 100k with 9 stacks. It's still pretty good. Like, just imagine having, let's just say somehow you're gonna put 20 stacks on a boss. Like, you're gonna drop so much damage. It's literally disgusting, honestly. Just imagine that. You're gonna take half of his HP instantly. Of course, Filto is one of the characters from the Radiance element that can one-shot bosses. He is disgusting. I'm not saying that this is going to be bad or anything like that, but just imagine having that, just banging down so much damage on the enemies is very, very impressive. If you're gonna stack even more increased attack on this champion, you know, by buffing with different characters, that will increase his damage even more because it's based on his attack, you know. So it seems like with 10 stacks on a single target, he deals approximately 100k per hit. Now the only thing that I kind of like forgot about is that 3 targets don't equal 1, so it's pretty hard to see the damage difference. Skratch, duh, but still we saw what he can do against a single target. 600k. And before we had 3 different targets, and he definitely didn't dealt enough damage to say like, okay, 3 targets, he tripled the damage, you know. He didn't dealt 1.8 million damage or anything like that. So I honestly don't think that having the characters in close proximity is going to be as impactful as I initially thought. I thought that it would be a bit crazier. It's still good, but I thought that it's going to be a bit better. Now, if we're gonna go over to, let's go over to the Vortex and see how it will play out there. The only thing is that I don't have the higher difficulties, guys. I didn't have a chance to do it on this test server, so I can only challenge the first one. So it's going to be pretty irrelevant in terms of what sort of damage we can deal here, honestly. So I'm gonna try to bring Carve in just to have more stacks and see what sort of damage we're going to drop on the Vortex when we have lots of stacks on, you know. I'm not gonna leave a full run or anything like that. I'm just gonna let it play a bit and see how well it will perform, basically, you know. So Carve, do your magic. So we have 9 stacks, 10 stacks. Okay. So the damage was okay-ish. Was not that impressive as on the dummy. The one thing that a lot of us are not really aware of how things really work in the background is what sort of defense, attack, HP the bosses have in this game. So that's something that we are trying to kind of like figure out a bit better, so we have a better understanding of what will work better in terms of damage and stuff, you know. But the damage that he brings right now is actually going up quite a bit. We are already at over 1 million damage, and that's mainly because he detonates all those stacks of burn, you know. Of course, if you don't have a Carve the Legendary to activate so many burns on the character, it won't perform as good. You know, you need to have as many burns stacks as possible, but he's still doing a great job. I don't have Carve on my account, and I'm still going to build him because honestly, he's top notch, even with the epic champions. He's still doing an amazing job, and I feel like a lot of you guys out there will actually get a massive value from this character. Like, look at that. Defense down 10 stacks, and he's about to use the ultimate right now. You see, he literally dropped 700k damage. He dropped 700k damage with the ultimate. Pretty damn impressive, right? Like, I'll take this. I'll take this. Let me know in the comments down below how many of you guys actually summoned Araces. If you summoned, of course, on the banner. If you haven't just yet, keep it in mind. I do wish you luck to summon this amazing epic champion because he's definitely top notch. And again, big shout out to Dragonheir for making epic and rare characters relevant in the end game, you know, and making them powerful against most of the content. It's not just about legendaries, and that's something that I really, really like about the game, you know? This time around, it feels like we dropped less damage. I'm not sure exactly why, but it was like 200k or 300k damage right there. Maybe we had no defense down. I feel like that will impact it quite a bit, but not as much to get to 700k. Unless I missaw that and that we didn't actually activated it for so much, you know. Maybe some other characters dealt damage at the same time. But again, it jumped 700k approximately with that hit. I should kind of like monitor his damage more. But I feel like this is enough for me to save in this run and be able to kind of like have the next difficulty unlocked for tomorrow, basically. I want to do one more run on the Goblin. It's very, very hard to show him there, guys, because the other characters, they just tend to do too much damage. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. So statistics, we have the legendary with 1.1 million, and then we have him with 5.4 million. I feel like this is definitely a good character, even for the Goblin, if you have enough characters to put the stacks up, you know. So if we're gonna head over to what do we say we're doing? Goblin, right? So we're gonna head over to the Goblin right here. Goblin's layer 3. I feel like it's very hard to showcase him in here. I've tried quite a few runs. I changed quite a few characters in and out. And the main issue that you will have here is that the Traveler or others will do too much damage, basically. So let's load. And let's give it a go. Then we're gonna replace Carf. We're gonna take him out of here. I feel like other characters will kind of like jump a bit in front just because who's using the AoE, the ultimate skill first, if they have more skill haste, if they don't, you know. So I feel like that will affect it a bit too. Right there, we had no burns on them to really like put him on the map. Let me just say it like that. I'm actually gonna stop his ultimate. I'm gonna stop his ultimate too, and we're gonna wait for him to use the ultimate once we get there, you know. Okay, that was actually a lot of damage. Let's stop her ultimate too. So let's put that ultimate. Come on, Araces. These guys are just killing everything. My god, they're not messing around. He's not at the top right now, honestly, because everybody else is using the ultimate before him. I think I'm gonna take one character out of here, man. I'm gonna take one character out of here. They just do too much damage. They do too much damage. And he just died right here at the end. And even with the skills messed up like this, they are still melting this content, you know. So let's actually take, I'm gonna take him out. I'm gonna keep him in without using the ultimate. And I'm just gonna put a random, no, not that one. Let's just put a random character just to get the 5-man elemental affinity. And let's put a defense food for him just in case if he's about to die. And let's save it, make a preset. I want to do one preset in the following way. So put that on 13, put that on 12, and what do we have here? 20, 19.5 works too. Is fine. And I feel like Zarlot, I'm gonna give him the Witch's Remains instead. He has the skill haste that's good, the Rift Hourglass. And right here, Bank and Accuracy. Do we have an Accuracy with skill haste? Anything with skill haste in here? Zarlot doesn't really matter. I don't even want Zarlot to do damage, you know. So I just wanna have skill haste and something to go with the defense down on. So let's see if this plays better. And save it. Continue. And we're gonna stop the ultimate on them too, yeah? That's fine. Just to kind of like check the damage. See how he performs in here, you know? The thing is the coverage area that he has. He really needs to be in the middle of them. And that's how he's going to get all the diamond shape, basically. Because that's basically what he has in terms of a kit. Like, it's like a diamond shape, you know? And from that range, he's not going to get them all in, you know? I'm gonna let him use the skills however he wants. He's still doing pretty good damage without burns. I feel like it's much harder to make make the character stack burning here for him. Like I find it challenging to showcase this, you know, because it's so hard to put the stacks. But right there, he's in the middle. I like that he's getting the shield. Bang, pretty good damage on them, and they only had 1 stack of burn. So if we manage to put even more stacks of burn on the enemy, it will be much better overall. Now, of course, right now, how you've probably noticed, we are not 3-starring it because I stopped the ultimate skills on 2 characters. One of them has no gear either to deal damage. That's not something that you really want to do in here. But I'm trying to kind of like have a better understanding on what sort of damage he could potentially bring, you know. And it seems like most of them, they're just doing a lot of damage, and it's pretty hard to stack them to stack the burns on the Goblin. And I feel like that will be the case for every single burn team that you might be using, because all of them, they will be doing too much damage. The Goblins will be dying too quick, and you're just not gonna get to utilize him to maximum. Let me just put it like that. But overall, I feel like he's definitely amazing against bosses, much better than against the Goblin. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Appreciate every single one of you guys watching. Much love, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.